Okay, so what we're looking at here is a chimney breast that's been removed in one of these Met Semi houses in Amersham, and the chimney that's been removed is the one at the back on the party wall. And in common with a lot of these alterations, the support to the remaining masonry, which is this bit, has been provided by what are known as gallows brackets, called that because they resemble a hangman's gallows. And on top of the gallows there's a piece of steel that acts like a shelf for the masonry to sit on. And what's happened is that after this was put in, this shelf has started to deflect, and the reason for that is because this chimney is wider than normal, and so the gap, I haven't measured it yet, but the gap at a guess is somewhere between 1.5 and 2 metres there, which is much wider than usual. So there's been deflection in the middle, and what they should have done is put an additional bracket in the middle rather than just the two. So what I think's happened is, then we've got this thing underneath it, this rather interesting timber structure, which consists of these two fairly substantial beams that go from the purlin over there to this piece of joinery that's been put in here, and along the ways it's these joists have been put in. These weren't here originally and they've been added, and then these little triangular shaped things, they have been put in to stabilise any forward movement from the main beam. Now that's not a standard way of doing that, but the first observation is that there is no movement at all to any of this, so this is as stable as it was when it was put in. So the question is it doing what it was intended to? Well, the trouble is, no, it's not really, because you can move this piece of timber here, which is the thing that is, I'm not sure if that's coming out on the video, but there's a good bit of movement in that. And what that means is that there's a gap. There's the deflected shelf is actually not on the timber. So the overall conclusion is that this modification here was put in to arrest movement, but there hasn't been any more movement because the load is actually not sitting on it at all. So the conclusion is this alteration is defective and it would not comply with the building regulations. Now what you'd have to do now is build an RSJ that goes all the way from there to wherever the nearest load-bearing structure is under this decking. So there should be a wall somewhere towards the middle, and I'm going to go and check that in a minute. But the repair, any additional repair, is not urgent because the gallows bracket has deflected, but the deflection has ceased, and it's very clear from the chimney that the chimney has not moved since the alteration was carried out. So although the support would not comply with the building regulations, it is stable at present. But I'm afraid the usual surveyor's covenant is past performance is no guide to the future, and it is not possible to completely rule out the need for future repairs. That really just involves keeping an eye on the chimney and watching out for signs of movement which will be visible from the outside. If the chimney starts to crack on the outside, it may mean that this support has started to move. So I hope that's helpful, and that's the end of this little film.